Hey there, good afternoon. This is Calvin Baker with Mini Pots, and I hope you are doing okay in your hobby world. As you can see, I sort of have a busy little desk going on, and I have went ahead and shaken my paint so I won't be disturbing my video with having to pause it to get it going. The status of things, I primed a lot of minis. I primed all Well, of course, I started with the empty side of the box. All of those guys, all of these guys, and these are the guys that don't have magnets on the bottom of the base. Then I went ahead and I primed, well, I don't know the exact number, but a lot of minis. Most of the cultists with, well, all the cultists with guns, and then several of the civilians. And I've just all the old stuff I had hanging out from Battle Valor Games, I went ahead and primed. I did get one thing new. I got some bases, and I get these. Unfortunately, I get you can get them from eBay, and they're not that much cheaper or more expensive depending on who you source. But this is from Amazon, 120 bases, 25 millimeter, and it's $7, $6.99, something like that. I'm not getting paid for any of this. I wish I were, but I think we all would. So I decided today I'm going to finish all my little animals, and these are the cultist animals. So I am doing the last few bits. I have a couple of squirrels. I'm going to do them out here where I live. We have these beautiful reddish, orangish squirrels. I considered doing the same thing as I did with the foxes, but I don't. Yeah, no, not doing it that way. The Have some bases done, and I will be doing 4 bases of animals, and then my animal cultists will be done. The What have I been doing otherwise than hobby wise other than this? The I stumbled across a terrain piece. So I did these strange little stone things with the idea of using them for the hidey holes or the homes of the goblins and Forbidden Psalms, but they're could just symbolize rough terrain. Um, they've been sitting. I found one that hadn't been painted, and then I have this one here. So I got it primed. The idea here is get that done. I've magnetized most of them. I'll have to go through and magnetize the one I found that I forgot about, and I will get that done as well this next week. I'm going to be working on a couple other Forbidden Psalms guys. This is someone I sculpted, sort of, and I'm going to get him painted. And I was thinking sort of like a slimy base around him, and for the Great Maw. And if you know, you know. The Finishing up my animals, I did a video recently. In fact, it was just released this morning of Void Fighter on the web page or the site for Osprey. They have downloadable token sheet. So I punched a lot of these out with the idea of going back and um, putting them in my plastic token things for tokens for the game. The I want to, yeah. So that I have that. Then painting, I've shaken everything up as I said, and I'm ready to go. I've been reading just the Void Fighter rule book. I read that through a couple times, and I've been reading another rule book. I have a viewer of the show. I've done a couple of reviews of their books, and they offered to send me a new book that they're publishing, and I hope to have that in the next couple of weeks. Um, really looking forward to it. Something different. First time I've ever had anything happen like that, um, related to the hobby, and so that's a neat new friendship starting there. Um, I have not played any games. I have not. I wanted to. I have a board set up to play a game, and I've just not sat down to do it. And I'm bummed about that whole thing right now. But I hope to get that done. I wanted to do a video of it as well because I think the game merits more publicity. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. There's a couple games I want to do that with, actually 3 or 4 games. But we'll see what happens and what I can make happen in a timely fashion. Um, Everything else, it is what it is. The world's been a little bit crazy, and I think you can understand that. And been a little bit distracted, and the all the things going on, they can weigh heavy upon you. The Looking up here, and so this is where my mind goes. So I've covered Forbidden Psalm, mentioned that a few times. I've talked about a mystery game. I've talked about Void Fighter. I've talked about some other things. Came across Barrettwood, and these are tokens from the book Barrettwood. Doing the same thing with them, I got a ton of those little penny holders for different things. And when I say a ton, I got 300 or something like that. I just thought they were the perfect token size. Um, so I have those. I don't know if I'll get a chance to play the game or not. I just don't know, but we'll see what happens. Something in a recurring thing, and I hope to get this done also this week, is I have been working on my little light up base. Now, this is where it's at, and I think it looks much nicer and neater than my other one. I do need to make a little riser there. Then my idea here is around most of this to do a resin shield with light coming up from beneath it to make it look like it's lit up, like it's a mystical or magical thing. The wires that I got that came with this battery or cell holder were 4 to 6 inches long, and that was the shortest one, so it's probably 4 inches. And you can already see where I'm having a bit of a mess, and I think if I get the light bulbs in there, it'll also be a mess. Then I've got to take another sheet, and I might do another. I have one here. One of these, and put on the bottom, and then sort of do a little hatch. But it might be too deep for me to get the battery in and out. We'll have to see. So I have a plasticine sheet I was thinking of also doing, and just tracing a circle and cutting out a rim, about 2 millimeter wide rim all the way, and to provide a little bit more thickness to it so it doesn't have this hovering look. But that's something I did not expect to make any progress on it, but I did, and I'm very happy that I did. Neat thing also, they do, it is because of the metal in the battery thing, these will stick to it, which I think is neat. I wanted to also do a magnet down here. We'll see what happens. I am happy. I thought I had glued this stiff, but it is not that case. The only thing I would wish I had done different is I wish I had filed the ends, you can't quite see it here, but these ends down, instead of it being flush, I wish it had a little bit of a knock, because getting a battery in and out is very difficult. But we'll manage. The overall thing, I think, I think it'll look nice. Just, it's one of those things that, it's there. It's like all this whole thing here. It's there, and you're not sure how it's going to look, and you don't want to mess it up, and you don't want to invest time and money, and up with something like this. I took out the battery, but which that looks like a mess, and down here it looks like a mess, but I needed to experiment and get some ideas, and this was my experiment. The base is a 32. I went with a 40 millimeter for the this version, and I think I will do another one of these, or once I use up all these, I will purchase some smaller battery packs. They make I think it uses a 10 16 battery, 10, I forget the size right now, and it's 10 millimeter round. Having the switch there will still take up some space, but you can see where if you had a smaller, and wouldn't even really have to be 10 millimeters, is about that much. It wouldn't have to be that much smaller, and you can still accommodate the button, the battery pack, and the wiring for and a magnet. It's all in that. They do make some, and however, in this case, it would still have to be thickened. I would have to make it deeper. I'm not sure if I want to do that with a liquid resin, um, like pouring the UV resin around it or something to make it thicker. But we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we're there. So happy with that. Sort of surprised. I did not think it was making progress. The battery does fit in it. I have not tested the wiring to see if I damaged something. So that's going to be, once I get that in there, I'll test the wiring, then I'll undo it the end, get some of those heat shrink tubes, but make sure they're small enough so they fit over the wiring and they actually shrink the right way. That is really it. Reading anything, not anything different except for the real books. Watched anything? I've been watching Alien Earth. I think I started that a couple weeks ago. Demon Slayer on Netflix, and enjoying that. The YouTube SPGD is a series of videos put on by a guy who is doing, what is he doing? He is doing game design. He's now in Korea, I think he said, and he worked for Games Workshop. And what he is how to come up with a game design. It's similar to what Snarling Badgers is doing. Snarling Badger is doing. But it's different in the sense that it's him by himself and he's just sort of discussing it. And it's done really well, and I highly recommend watching those. Still watching the Trent Holbrook every day, and he revealed today, or probably I'm watching it late, a couple of days ago, where he is sort of discouraged with the painting every day. And I don't think that means that he will be quitting it, but he's going to probably quit it for a short time. And because I did it for a week, and having kids and a full-time job, that was very, 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 very hard. So I think I'm going to not. I'm going to give that a go for a week, and I can understand him quitting. And I think because I didn't even make it the full week, but I there was a couple things that happened, and we'll see what I can make go on. I got a lot out of it. I enjoyed it, and this is Basilicum Gray, and this is a possum in it. So the smaller animals, I'm thinking, well, I'm not thinking, I'm going to do on one base. And these are 25 millimeter bases. In Forbidden Psalm and some of the other games, it goes over the base size of the minis. Now, I really like that. It gives me an idea of what to work with and an idea of what possibly the game was play tested with. So you know that it sort of should work with that. And in one of I think it is Hope is for the Dead, he did away with base size. And I'm not, I was not real happy with that because this was nice because it gave me a point of reference. And it's sort of a hard thing to express to someone, but sometimes it's nice to have, like the rules of a game or something, they make the decision for you. And I really liked that about having the base size. But what I end up doing is I Google other games and do an idea of what they have, or sometimes I just do a whatever and decide, but that hasn't happened. I've only been trying to concentrate on a couple games. Forbidden Psalm, a couple versions of that, and it's not the same game. So please, when I say versions, don't jump on the train. It is a totally different game. Hope is for the Dead, and I have The Last War. I have done some work on the minis. I just need to finish painting them for The Last War, and we'll see where that goes. And hopefully sooner than later I will get something going on that. I don't like the contrast paints because they seem to clog up the brush faster than I care to deal with. And that's it. I really, this is progress, and for the next week, have that of getting a play of the mystery game that I've been talking about, and a review of the rule book for that, and then I will do I will hope to get my cultists finished, or at least discuss them and get them out. And I started them because of the Endless Horrors from the Deep of Space, or I forget what the exact title of the game. It's another game by Will Rummon, and it was kickstarted last year, and it just sparked my curiosity. And I really liked it, the idea of it. And this hopefully will be cleaned up as well by next Friday, Saturday. Thank you. Hope you're getting something out of this. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you have any comments, please leave them below. Questions, please feel free. Thank you again. Have a great one, and happy gaming.